I'm spiraling. Wait, I can't even. Oh my god, this orangeness. I don't know why it's so yellow. I don't know why, dude. Okay, I'm spiraling. I'm gonna check my screen time, but I downloaded Instagram because I have my hour, and I was just like, I'm spiraling! Okay, screen time. Oh god, I'm scared. Oh, today? Okay, but today I was texting somebody, and I had to talk to like 3 different people today on my smartphone, so that's one thing, but oh, it's only been 14 minutes I was on Instagram? God, I'm telling you, it really felt like I was at least 30 minutes, but okay. Okay, okay, I have 3 hours and 33 minutes. Can't really see it. I don't really know how to do this influencer thing, but 3 hours and 33 minutes, and it says maps, because I did go somewhere today. Maps, 54 minutes. Messages, 43 minutes. Instagram, 14 minutes. And Spotify, 13 minutes. And that's where that came from. I picked my phone up 63 times today. Jeez. I'm kind of like, wow. Okay. Today, oh god, yeah. I spread my hour out. I'm going to delete the app right now, though. I spread my hour out, so I used my Instagram around like 12 p.m. for like 15 minutes, and then I just used it now for 15 minutes, so I guess I still have like 30 minutes. The thing is like, I don't even like Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on it, and it's cool to like connect with people and like see people post and stuff, and then after a while, I'm like, I'm a zombie, you know? But okay, so today what we're gonna talk about today, I'm actually really excited about. I'm gonna do a PowerPoint because I just have a hard time like organizing my ideas if I have a lot to say. I just need to be able. It's easier for me to be able to read it. So we're talking about classical conditioning today, and I'm gonna stop this video here. Oh, so let me just tell you how my day went in terms of like any relapses. So I didn't really relapse. I really almost did so many times. I almost downloaded Instagram so many. I think I can turn this on. Can you see me better? Or no? Not really, but I almost, I'm sorry. I'm bad. I'll be better at cameras. I almost relapsed a few times. I did feel a lot of like anxiety to want to get on my phone, and an interesting phenomenon I realized was that I posted, like, because I'm posting about this, I feel the need to want to check, like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, what are they saying about me? My brain is like, what are they saying about me? Did they comment anything mean? Did anybody say anything mean about me? Are people watching my video? Did they and I'm like, girl, what is that? What's going on in there? So that's an interesting phenomenon. I woke up like with that stuff in my head, and so because I'm posting more, it kind of has made me want to like log on more to see if how people are reacting to what I posted. So that's a very interesting thing as well. So a need for validation is coming up. Other than that, like I had a few instances, I almost downloaded Instagram like 3 times today, and I was like, no, it's not time yet. It's not your hour. I did it like at 12 because I was like, I just want to check, like, but yeah, so that went well. So I'm gonna now, anything abnormal, that's pretty much, I felt feelings of, I actually got stuff done today though. I started cleaning out my van, which I've been meaning to do for like weeks. I had a productive day today. Yeah, so that's how today went. And then now I'm going to cut this video and I'm going to figure out how to make a PowerPoint about classical conditioning and how we can like use that to help us break our habits. So, peace. Okay, greetings, Earthlings. So we have our day 3 topic that we're discussing is going to be classical conditioning. And today is day 3 of the phone addiction case study. I'm Soy, and I recently purchased a flip phone to replace my smartphone. I use my smartphone 1 hour a day of social media today. Oh wait, you guys have already heard this because this is after I showed you the first part. Okay, anyway. Okay, so what's up? So we're gonna talk about classical conditioning now. Okay, so we're going to move into learned behaviors. So a behavior is learned consciously and subconsciously throughout our lives. And there's so many behaviors that we've learned throughout our lives that have become subconscious or conscious programs in our minds that we use to literally operate through our daily lives. And these can be learned through watching families, through watching friends, through school, through like unspoken of things that we learn in society and through advertisements mostly. So the way we respond to something today is how we'll respond tomorrow, how we responded yesterday, unless we change it. This is also relevant when it comes to compulsive phone, internet technology usage, or addictions. Habits are predictable over time, and every second and every day, we're either strengthening our current habits or we can be choosing new habits to strengthen. So, classical conditioning, it's a form of associative learning and is the process by which a normally neutral stimulus becomes a conditioned stimulus. So, condition pretty much just means um, like programming over time. So when you're conditioned to do something, you're basically programmed to do it over time. I'm trying to figure out a better way to describe the word conditioning, but like, let's say I have an example later, but I can say it now. Let's say like every time you're going to go into the library, you hear that it's quiet and your parents are always like, shh, we're in the library, you know, so they're conditioning you to be quiet every time you enter a library. And now you have that program in your mind that every time you enter a library, you have to be quiet. That's what conditioning is. So, then once the normally neutral stimulus becomes a conditioned stimulus, it now elicits a response in the individual, and this is now called a conditioned response. So in our daily lives, this is equated to advertisements targeting aspects of our conscious and subconscious brains and conditioning us to certain behaviors without our consent. And the thing is that mostly these behaviors that we're conditioned and habits that we're conditioned to acquiring is only for their own financial gain, which is very unethical. So examples from psychologytoday.com. So one thing that we've obviously frequently seen is like in the music videos or in the car commercials, like there's these beautiful, usually not wearing many clothed women and they have water on them and all these things. So the target audience for sports cars is usually men. So what they're doing here is they're trying to have men, when they see a sports car, their hearts will race and then excitement brought by the women, they start to associate to the car. So that makes them more likely to want to purchase the car because they want to obtain that excitement. And it also tells them if you have this car, you'll have these women and you'll have this status and you'll be this and that. So there are a lot of subliminal messages. I know you guys have maybe heard that. Like subliminal messages is similar to subconscious programming and conditioning. And this is all part of the chain of advertising and marketing and conditioning a people to act a certain way so that you can have your own gain, right? And so we're going to relate this back to our social media and internet usage. But first, we're going to keep this background going. So one more, we'll talk about McDonald's, right? So some people might see McDonald's and begin to salivate because the arches have become associated in their minds with food and with satisfaction of that natural need. Also, the colors that lots of fast food companies use, like yellows, oranges, reds, um, those all elicit certain things in the brain, and they usually elicit like excitement and hunger. If you think about it, a lot of fast food companies use yellow, orange, and red in their advertising. Okay, so now we're going to talk about four components to classical conditioning. So Ivan Pavlov was a Russian researcher, and he was researching, I think, the digestive system of dogs, and he ended up finding out that the dogs were salivating. So then he changed his experiment and decided to study behavior. So there were four components to the classical conditioning, right? So the unconditioned stimulus was the thing that was something natural, something that was not um, brought in consciously to do this thing, right? So the unconditioned thing, stimulus, was the food. And the unconditioned, a natural response is salivation, right? These things are reflexive. These things are not taught. These things are things that happen naturally. So then he's like, okay, I want to see if I can make the dogs salivate when they hear the metronome, when they hear this sound. And he learned that now the metronome is the conditioned stimulus because he's choosing this stimulus to elicit this response. Just like if he would have said, okay, I want the dogs to salivate every time they see Mickey Mouse or they hear Mickey Mouse's voice. I want them to salivate. Now I'm introducing a conditioned stimulus because I know every time you're hungry and you see food, you want to salivate. So now I want to teach you that every time you hear this, you're going to associate this with food. So I'll likely bring Mickey Mouse in with some food. And then every time you see Mickey Mouse, you're going to think about food now. Or so he did that with the metronome. Every time they hear the metronome, they think about food, they start to salivate, right? So now the conditioned response is salivation. So a conditioned response is learned and can be unlearned. And we're going to relate this to how we have been classically conditioned in our society through marketing and through subliminal messaging and all of these things, and how the ringing of smartphones and notifications and other things create conditioned responses. The beautiful thing is that we can unlearn these responses and take our conscious minds back and take our critical thinking back and take our brains back, period, because it's not okay that corporations and advertisement companies and phone companies and all of these people who don't have a say in our daily lives and are not trying to like condition us to, it's not like they're conditioning us to love ourselves, not like they're conditioning us to be more reflective, to do yoga more. They're conditioning us to spend money and to spend our attention in ways that do not serve us, and that is unethical and not okay. So now conditioned stimulus, conditioned stimulus is something that you bring in to elicit something that would naturally happen, but it's an unnatural thing. Okay. A conditioned response is the natural thing, right? But now it's unnaturally happening to an unnatural stimulus. Okay. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. A conditioned stimulus is a neutral cue or event, right? So conditioned stimulus, again, the metronome. It's a neutral cue or event that produces an involuntary response. Remember the involuntary response? Salivation. After being repeatedly paired with an unconditioned stimulus that naturally elicits that behavior. So a conditioned stimulus, the metronome, it was originally neutral, right? And it produced the involuntary response only after being paired with the unconditioned stimulus, which was, what was the unconditioned stimulus? The food. So after you pair the random metronome with the food enough times, they'll salivate because they'll start to associate the metronome with the food, and it'll be equal to the same thing in their brains, and it'll then cause the brain to elicit the same response. Okay, so a conditioned response then becomes an automatic response established by training an ordinarily neutral stimulus, and it is not natural and it can be unlearned. Okay, so now let's think about this. Smartphones and conditioned responses. Okay, so the sound of a phone is now creating a reflexive response due to constant exposure to the pair. Smartphones are beginning to be associated with ways to meet our psychological needs for understanding, relatedness, competence, maybe even boredom, maybe even feeling connected to people, maybe even love, maybe validation, all of these things that we kind of psychologically need to feel. Our smartphones are being associated with this. So because of this, we're on constant alert when our smartphones ring or in our presence because we are on alert to get these needs met. Therefore, we're in a continuous state of continuous partial attention, which is literally what it says. We're partially attending at all times to our phones. So even if our phones are in the vicinity, just looking at your phone then has your brain relate a certain level of attention to that because your brain is associating the phone with a natural biological necessity, right? So your brain is trying to help you. Okay, so hold on 1 second. Nobody saw surprise. Okay, we're gonna move on. So Pavlov's dogs apply to cell phone usage. Okay, so here, let's say that the unconditioned stimulus, so something, gotcha. So the unconditioned stimulus, then let's say it's boredom. You're just bored now, right? You're just bored. So naturally, you're gonna check the phone, right? Check the phone. Okay. So what happens when I pair you just being bored, but now you're just bored, but now you get a notification. Oh my God, my phone just dinged. I got a notification, right? So every time, let's put ding, right? Every time you hear the ding, you're like, oh my God, I got a notification. I gotta check my phone and I'm bored. So boredom is the unconditioned stimulus. It's just happening. And then the unconditioned response, checking the phone. And then people started to pair, and then, we pair notification, the dinging with boredom enough times, right? So then if we pair it together enough times, the notification is then going to be the stimulus. And then you're just going to check your phone from the notification. But what if, okay, maybe it's actually this. Maybe it's actually, what if we say that it was the notification, the dinging was the unconditioned stimulus? What if we say that was the thing? Sorry. What if we say that was the unconditioned stimulus, the notification dinging, and then you check your phone? Okay. So now, what if I don't think I like that though. What do you guys think? What if we say the unconditioned stimulus is feeling lonely? Because I was thinking like the phone just existing. You check the phone. Now you pair the phone existing and you pair the phone existing with feeling lonely. Now you check the phone, right? What if you pair, so every time you feel, now you release the phone, every time you feel lonely, you check the phone. What if you check sad? What if you feel sad and you have a phone in your vicinity? Now you're going to check your phone. And what if I take away the unconditioned stimulus and the phone isn't even in your vicinity, but now you feel sad? You're going to check your phone. What if we pair um feelings of depression, right? And always having a phone on you. And now the phone isn't even in your vicinity and you feel kind of depressed. You feel kind of lonely. You're going to check your phone because now we're pairing these feelings with the existence of a phone. And so the thing that I want you to realize is that the phone is constantly there and you're in a continuous state. You're in a state of continuous partial attention. So no matter what it is that you're feeling, it's being paired with the phone. So now, no matter where the phone is, and because the phone is now being associated with a biological need, no matter what you're feeling, even if it's a notification ding, maybe even if you're just bored, whatever it is, it's going to result in checking your phone. So, one second, I want you to think about really quick. I want you to think about how many times a day do you check your phones? And when do you usually check your phone? Think about that really quick. Did you get it? So I check my phone um several times a day when I feel okay, what just happened? Did you try to check your phone? That's why I was so distracted because I was trying to do that the whole time. I forgot to pull it up before the video. I was trying to do that the whole time to trick you to see what would happen. It was supposed to be like a experiment. But did it work? Did you feel anything when you heard the phone ringing? Did you go check to see if it was your phone? Conditioned response. Every time you hear the notification now. Oh, so when I'm bored and I heard the notification, I checked my phone. So when I was sad and I heard the notification, I checked my phone. When I was lonely, I heard the notification, I checked my phone. So that's what created the conditioned stimulus was the presence of the phone constantly there and the presence of the sound there at all times of the day. Then associated every feeling that you do, everything that you do with having to check your phone. So now, no matter what you feel, even if the notification isn't present, this is the unconditioned stimulus. Even if the notification isn't present, you check your phone. Boom. That's what it was. Okay. So how do you apply classical conditioning to bad habits? I have my notes right here. This is getting a little long. Sorry. Um, Okay, so we want to find a replacement for the bad habit, right? So we want to learn a new skill or a hobby. Likely we want to do a replacement for something that would create the same, like we want to do dopamine, right? So something that will create dopamine. So you want to do something that's fun for you, something you enjoy, something Like you want to exercise, you want to do meditation, you want to do yoga, you want to go out, be in the sun. You want something that'll stimulate you, so that'll create dopamine. Natural ways to create dopamine is being in the sun, going for walks, art, art, listening to music, dancing, exercising. These are all meditating, yoga. These are all good things that have studies that prove that dopamine is created because they're things you enjoy. So find a replacement for your bad habit. And at every time that you feel like picking up your phone, or every time you feel like I need to go on social media, do your best. This is not going to be easy, my friends. Do your best to do the opposite and check the opposite thing. I mean, invoke the new habit now. But you have to do it every single time, or as many times as you can, and then keep upping it until it happens every time. And you'll be able to create a new habit. So yeah, you have to ingrain the new habit into your daily routine. So now you're classically conditioning yourself to do something positive as opposed to these companies conditioning us to do something negative. So ingraining into your daily routine is what I just said. Every time you do it, you would normally check your phone. If you normally check your phone when you wake up in the morning, create a routine of, instead of doing that, take a cold shower, or write the best part of your day, or write four things that you're happy and you're proud of yourself for, something that will evoke something beautiful in you, a good feeling that'll create those happy hormones of dopamine. Keep doing this. Practice as many. If you fail 10 times, try 10 more times. Don't give up. It's something that you need to continuously do, because let me tell you something, the marketers and the people who program your phones are not going to give up on programming you. So don't give up on programming yourself positively. Okay, last thing. Thank you for sticking with me. We're almost done. Takeaways. Number one thing you need to ask yourself is, do you want to break this habit? Yes, you do. What habit can you replace it with? One that generates dopamine. Jumping jacks, laughing, dancing, music, fun things that evoke happiness. Turn off your notifications. We already realized that the notifications was the unconditioned, what did I forgot what it was? Notifications were the unconditioned stimulus that then created the conditioned stimulus of whatever feeling or whatever is happening, creating you to check your phone. So now whenever you hear that ding, you got to check your phone. So disable your notifications, disable your notifications, disable your notifications. Bring it into consciousness, check your screen time, and become reflective. How often do you get interrupted? And how do you feel when you get interrupted when you're on your phone? How often do you try to check your phone? And okay, so these things are coming from Break Up With Your Phone, that book. Okay, so let's give her credit. How often do you try to check your phone? In which scenarios do you tend to check your phone? While waiting for the bus, commuting, when you get bored. Observe your habits. It's a crucial step in order to change them. This actually came from this YouTube girl. She posted this. I don't know what her name is. Forgot, but I'll post it in the comments to give her credit too. Another takeaway, classical conditioning is part of our world and is how we've been conditioned to do so many different things and to feel so many different things. So make sure you're taking this back. Okay. And then what are ways you've been conditioned? Think about this in your daily life. There's more than one way. Maybe things that you like, things that you like to eat, products that you purchase, ways that you feel about yourself are all ways that we've been conditioned. So think about this and then realize, are you okay with this? And the example of our phones and using our phones so much, are you guys okay with the way that we're being conditioned to use our phones? Um, yeah, so that's today on classical conditioning, things that we can do. So now I want you guys to go disable your notifications and ask yourself these questions and think about some habits that you can do and do your best to, whenever you're feeling like you want to check your phone, really, it's fucking hard. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. It's hard. It's really hard. I'm not gonna pretend. But you know what? It's actually easy. It's so easy. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. Okay. Peace, love, blessings. I believe in you. Let's take our brains back. Wait, I gotta turn this off. I don't know how to do this.